Good evening and welcome to UBC News Tonight on this 15th day of May 2024. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Elizabeth Nakakoni in Sign Language Interpretation. We do welcome you to tonight's news bulletin. Now we start off with our first story this evening. President Museveni has arrived in Kenya's capital Nairobi for a state visit at the invitation of President William Ruto. The president's visit aims at strengthening the long-standing bilateral relations between Uganda and Kenya and exploring new avenues for collaboration and mutual benefits. On arrival, President Museveni was received at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport by a delegation from the Kenyan government led by Honorable David Musalia Mudavadi, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. On the Ugandan side, he was welcomed by Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, the First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East Africa Community Affairs, among other dignitaries. Now, President Museveni's visit signifies the commitment of both leaders to foster regional integration, enhance economic cooperation, and promote stability within the East African region. During his stay, the president will engage in high-level discussions with President Ruto and other Kenyan government officials. The discussions will cover a wide range of topics, including trade and investment, infrastructure development, security cooperation, and regional integration. Government has procured new road equipment for newly created districts in the country. The road equipment, worth 59 billion Uganda shillings, were handed over to the new districts today in an event presided over by Prime Minister Robinah Nabbanja at the Ministry of Works headquarters here in Kampala. We have the details.
The road equipment flagged off include graders and wheel loaders. These will be going to 15 districts that were recently created by government.
This equipment was solely procured using government of Uganda money. There's no borrowed coin. This is government of Uganda money. The funds were budgeted for and subsequently appropriated by Parliament.
At the handover of this road equipment, much emphasis was put on their maintenance.
Let these public operators, we train them. They are trained, but you will not give them jobs. Some of them, you want to bring your cousin who doesn't know how to use it. At the end of the day, the machine is vandalized in the shortest time possible.
We have paid a lot of attention to detail in ensuring that these road equipments are not misused. My ministry prepared a set of guidelines for use, care, and maintenance of the equipment, which were distributed to the cows.
The Prime Minister Robinah Nabbanja stressed the importance of equipping new districts with the road maintenance machines.
The provision of new road equipment to the new districts is therefore a welcome idea and gesture by government which will improve both inter and intra connectivity within the districts. The provision of road equipment the new district underscores our commitment as government to equitable development and inclusive growth.
She also warned local government leaders against hiring out road equipment.
It is incumbent upon us, both at the national and local levels, to ensure that these road equipment are utilized efficiently, transparently, and sustainably. I remember we had to arrest the former LC5, put him in prison for hiring road equipment to other people, the contractor.
Some of the districts were finding it hard to maintain their community roads due to lack of road equipment.
We have been borrowing, but of course this borrowing comes with a lot of conditions. As you already heard, you are told to first repair the machines. Once you have repaired, it doesn't take 1 week. The owner or the district that is charged with the responsibility of maintaining this machine will come back and say, My roads also need the machines. What do? You surrender. That means we have been going through a lot of wastages, and we have been going into hiring machines from contractors. Each time you are hiring a machine, it is not less than 800,000 per day. So that's a lot of money.
Among the districts that have received road equipment include Madi Okolo, Terego, Kasanda, Karinga, Chitagwenda, Kazo, Kwanya, Chibuku, and Nabilatuk. However, Ministry of Works is still seeking for more 30 billion shillings to equip the new districts with a complete road equipment unit. Diano Olweny Peters, UBC News.
The government has waived the renewal fees and late registration charges for acquiring a national ID effective June 1st, 2024, when the mass enrollment commences. However, the fees for changing particulars on the national identity card have been increased to 300,000 shillings to discourage people from unnecessary alterations of their details. We have more in this story.
The government of Uganda has announced an increase in charges for changing particulars on a national identity card from 50,000 shillings to 300,000 shillings, excluding adopting a spouse's name or dropping a name due to divorce.
Yeah, well, that's why I said on a case-by-case basis, each issue can be derogated, but from the experience of NIRA, there have been many citizens who present their cases and they are like not convincing. Either somebody wants to fraudulently acquire some service or beat some system. So basically the increase is targeting those. But where a case is a genuine one, like I was saying, I have just realized maybe we've done a DNA and I've realized the people I called my parents are not the ones. It will be looked at on its own merit.
The renewal fee of 50,000 shillings and the late registration charge of 40,000 shillings have been waived.
So renewal applications are now going to be free of charge.
These changes will come into effect after the commencement of mass registration and enrollment of national identity cards. NIRA is finalizing the procurement of necessary kits and tools to start the exercise effective June 1st, 2024.
If there is any change in the dates, we shall come back and update the country. But
while the current national ID centers so much around fingerprint technology, the new national ID will have enhanced technology that will see the capturing of your iris details as well as your face. The usage of the ID will then become multiple because it will incorporate other details besides just being an identification of you as a national.
there are cases where somebody say is a person with a disability and does not have hands. So if you are capturing now the fingerprints, somebody has no hands, it becomes a challenge. But now you can take the face, you can take the iris, that's the eye, so that we can properly identify individuals.
This registration exercise is also linked to the national electoral process to extract a voters register, which will be displayed early next year around the month of January.
It's important that we register so that we get the national identification card, but also we participate in other processes like the electoral process. And
in the long run, the government plans to introduce e-cards to serve different purposes, reducing the need to carry multiple documents. Tony Kent Chaze, Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Tony Kent Chaze and Ivan Kahwa, thank you so much for that report. Now, in more news this evening, Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs has failed to justify the utilization of monies spent on the implementation of 29 activities where it recorded underperformance in the Auditor General report of the year 2022-2023. The Public Accounts Committee, PAC Central, observes that money allocated for the implementation of the mentioned activities was spent with no justification of implementation. We have more.
Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs have for the second time faced the Public Accounts Committee, Central, to discuss recent auditing reports submitted to Parliament.
We intend to.
During the financial year 2022-2023, the ministry had a budget of 159.269 billion shillings, which according to the Auditor General's report was fully utilized. However, the committee chaired by Mwanga Chivumbi observed how the ministry had 66 activities to be implemented in the year 2022-2023, and out of these, 31 were implemented and 29 partially implemented, yet the monies was spent.
There are those you attempted to implement and you partially implemented. Those had monies allocated to them. Okay? There was zero performance, but yet the money was spent. So where did you put the money?
Is there any money that was retained that you have that was not spent on these other activities? Because
the committee tasked the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, to explain the allocation of the utilized monies, yet the activities were not implemented.
In some areas we did over 100%, compensating for those areas that bills that we didn't do, as an example.
PAC also revised the performance of the Administrator General, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, where he was allocated 2.28 billion, to which the report indicated a 99% performance. However, the committee interested itself in finding more information on the balance of 2.405 billion not being paid to the estate's beneficiaries of the deceased.
The different, those that you have taken 3-4 years holding these estates and you have failed to identify beneficiaries.
management did not specify the amount to which non-beneficiaries are entitled and that which cannot be allocated.
The Administrator General, Charles Kasibayo, interested the committee in management of deceased estates.
As saying this money is for the late so and so, that information is accessed by the auditors. The only information is when people send to money and say beneficiaries, because we also extract that information from the bank statements.
The committee requested the officials to specify documents of the costs of all implemented and non-implemented activities to determine the amount in making informed decisions. Lydia Chomkama and Gloria Gutavinji, Parliament.
The Budget Committee of Parliament has dismissed the Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2024 for the supplementary expenditure for financial year 2022-2023 amounting to 2.963 billion shillings because it is the business of the whole House, not just for the committee. The chairperson of the Budget Committee of Parliament, Honorable Opolot Patrick Isiagi, says the request was authored on the 13th of April and the House has not yet sat, hence the House has not handled the business.
The Minister for Finance in charge of General Duties, Henry Musasizi, has appeared before the Budget Committee of Parliament to present the Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2024 in respect of the supplementary expenditure for financial year 2022-2023 amounting to 2.963 billion shillings for consideration. Accordingly, he laid this bill before the floor of Parliament on 10th April 2024, and it was referred to the committee on 13th by the Speaker of Parliament before it has been handled by Parliament.
We cannot just go by communication. It will still remain handling something that the House has not handled.
The Technical Committee tested the accuracy of the figures to check if what they appropriated is what is exactly in the bill, the consistency of the figures. The report of the Technical Committee indicates that there are some consistencies in the bill. In the supplementary budget, they approved 3.5 billion shillings to the Ministry of Gender, but the bill shows 7.5 billion, an increase of 4 billion shillings.
So we shall now have to correct that one. But the question comes, the Minister will explain what really happened. Did you pay the 7.5?
And if so, what happens with the 4?
Minister Musasizi, however, said they cannot spend above appropriation without approval from Parliament, and on errors, they are human because they happen. Member of Parliament, Chira Municipality, Ibrahim Semujunganda, inquired to know whether the supplementary was financed and its impact on the economy, citing the extra 4 billion spent in Ministry of Gender.
For example, here, gender, where you spend an extra 4 billion. What was it spent on?
The issue of accompanying this particular bill with a certificate of financial implication caused a lot of debate between members of Parliament, with some saying it is not required, while others insisted it is required. They based their argument on Section 76 of the Public Finance Management Act.
When you're processing a budget or a bill for an act of Parliament, wherever you find a problem or a mistake, you correct it there and then.
The certificate, that requirement is not applicable in that regard. You should have asked me that certificate when I presented the schedules.
To read that particular law and interpret it purposefully. And if you use the purposeful interpretation, then my considered opinion would be you do not need a certificate of financial implication on a supplementary appropriation bill.
Lydia Chomkama and Nafka Farida, Parliament.
Now, State Minister for Works and Transport, Musa Echweru, during an inspection visit with the board members of the Uganda Railway Corporation, has called for a swift revitalization of the Uganda Railways. He assured Ugandans of accelerated progress when the upgraded railway system gets done with.
State Minister of Works and Transport Musa Echweru has started off with inspections of the Uganda Railway from Kampala to Malaba. Minister Echweru explains the major aim of this inspection visit.
What we decided to do was to come and get an on-the-spot appreciation of what is happening so far. The country would wish to know that this Jinja Pier is a very critical link to the country, particularly given the focus, the policy of government now, which is geared towards utilization of the railway and the water transportation system in order to prolong the lives of our roads.
Echweru also says that they have intentions of reviving the Uganda Railway in order to ease and widen the transport network all over the country.
Lake Victoria, our water bodies are underutilized when it comes to marine transport. They are underutilized, and yet they would make a big, contribution to the development of the country, because, like I said, they are cheaper, and then they save the roads. The roads would be not handling the kind of weight that the axle load that we are handling now. All that should be either passed through the water bodies or it should be by rail. So that is the strategic thinking of government now.
The chairperson board of Uganda Railway Corporation, Alhaj Abdul Latif Wagubo, stressed that URC is able to transport goods, both exports and imports, across the country.
A lot of money has been put there, so we expect a lot of it. We only request those are the traders and the merchants to give us business, because now we have the ability to transport their merchandise in good time and at a low cost. So that's the best that we can promise them.
The inspection visit is to be done in other regions of Uganda at a later date. Kenneth Tanaba compiled this report for UBC News.
Uganda's museums and cultural institutions have decried the need for more funding and adequate infrastructure to promote the country's cultural heritage. This has been disclosed by the Woman Member of Parliament, Bugweri, Rachel Magola, at a 2 community museums exhibition at the National Cultural Centre in Kampala.
Inspecting stalls from different cultural communities in Kampala, Bugweri Woman Member of Parliament Rachel Magola highlighted the need for more funding to boost the cultural heritage sector.
So I advocate for a ministry. I keep saying it. We need it. If we can't get that, the National Culture Center which was enacted in 1959. Nothing has changed in that act since 1959. This is 2024 for crying out loud. So much has changed. Attitudes have changed. The mandate is good actually, but it's not implemented.
Amidst all the challenges, there are opportunities for transformation and progress, raising the need for awareness and importance of cultural heritage.
We tend to think that museums are old places and largely irrelevant. When you talk about a museum to a young person especially, and young, I'm talking even about 30 years, they always think, oh, that's a place where fetishes are, the dirty things, the old useless things, not knowing that there is a lot that can actually be done with these museums to improve learning.
The Cross Culture Foundation of Uganda Executive Director Barbara Babwetera says community museums are often overlooked, yet they represent grassroots efforts to preserve Uganda's diverse cultural traditions.
And we would love to see more support going to these community museums so that they can keep on innovating and growing and showcasing Uganda's heritage.
Chairperson, Uganda Community Museums Association, Abraham Chitaura, says investing in culture tourism offers a promising avenue for economic growth and job creation.
So this is your opportunity to lobby for support of different types: policy support, technical support, financial support, but also linkages. Honorable Rachel Magola has traveled. Okay? Outside Uganda, are there places where we can be linked for possible support?
As Uganda commemorates the International Museum Day, it is essential to reflect on the significance of preserving and promoting the invaluable cultural asset. Sudat Kaye and Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
The Cabinet has approved a new early childhood and education policy aimed at supporting children aged between 0 to 6 years. The Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, disclosed this during a high-level national dialogue on childcare.
Early childhood development programs play a crucial role in promoting children's upbringing. All children, regardless of their race, gender or social status, have the right to be protected from harm, have access to quality education, and be treated with dignity and respect.
If we leave it to profit, and yet we know that this is the cornerstone, the foundation of everything, and today we are talking about foundation of human capital. If we do not regulate, then so many people will not afford and will not be able to benefit from that.
Evidence shows that children who receive quality care and education during their early years are more likely to succeed in school and life. Unfortunately, many children lack access to such programs, leading to poor outcomes later in life.
And the policy also emphasizes that the ages for pre-primary education start from 3 years upwards, 3 to 5 years. And then at 6 years, that's when a child should be starting primary.
The Early Childhood Education Policy presents a comprehensive approach to support children from conception to 8 years of age, along with their parents and caregivers, to help them grow and thrive physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, morally, and socially.
It will also tell parents what to look out for when they go to a service provider to give their child childcare. What exactly are we looking out for? What toys should they be using? What is the kind of people, the caregivers that are in the centers? All of those things will be entailed inside this policy, or have been entailed inside this policy, to guide us.
The Cabinet has also approved the Ministry of Education and Sports to provide the necessary infrastructure to support early childhood education, including interventions for creating early childhood care centers for babies.
To have programming for caregivers where we teach them, how to parent, what is the appropriate parenting, and how do you nurture those relationships between caregivers and children. So that's why it is important that childcare forms the basis for human capital development.
The policy review focuses on the structure of schools, admission processes, school environments, and curriculum development, ensuring that all children receive a quality early education. Justine Nakami, UBC News.
Now to some heartbreaking news this evening. Entebbe police are currently probing a devastating fire that tore through the home of Bakita Ayang, a South Sudanese national, resulting in the heartbreaking loss of 6 young lives. Preliminary investigations suggest that the fire originated from an unattended electric kettle in the sitting room connected to a socket, which is believed to have sparked the blaze.
Residents of Namlanda B in Kajansi Town Council, Wakiso District were left reeling in shock upon discovering the aftermath of a fire outbreak that occurred around 1 a.m.
There were 6 who were injured from this fire outbreak. They were children. Unfortunately, that the mother didn't know English and also Luganda.
Community members bravely attempted to rescue the family upon hearing the alarm, successfully pulling the mother to safety through a window.
Ninkubirawo Kisubi mwami Mugenyi eyagideko mu budde nakubira ba fire brigade nabo tebatutebu era tubebaza tebatutebudde buwanvu ni batuuka omuliro ni babanga baguzikiziza nga tegunnatuusa mu ba neighbors bulabe.
However, tragically, the children aged between 2 and 6 succumbed to the flames. The swift response of Kisubi Police Station and firefighters led to the containment of the fire and recovery of the children's bodies.
At least they responded immediately. So for that, I should thank them for the quick action they took. Then on the issue of the roads, as I happen to see now, this is a developing area. We need to know that as the area is developing, we should secure areas for movement.
It look an old building, and first of all, when you look at that side where I'm seeing the connection of connecting this wire, it is not well in the
sitting room connected to a socket. Further inquiries will be conducted to determine the exact cause of the fire.
Local leaders extended condolences to the aggrieved family and emphasized the importance of parental vigilance, especially regarding the use of electronic appliances by children, particularly during holidays. In the aftermath, surviving tenants were seen salvaging their belongings from the premises, opting to relocate to safe accommodations. As authorities continue their inquiry, the bodies of the children have been transferred to the city mortuary for post-mortem examinations. I'm Navka Farida and Sulaka Gugube.
Sad indeed. And with that, UBC News Tonight will take a very short break, but we return with more stories. Don't move an inch.
The Uganda National Oil Company, UNOC, is wholly owned by the government of Uganda and was established to safeguard and promote Uganda's commercial interests in the petroleum sector. UNOC has 2 subsidiaries, the Uganda Refinery Holding Company, URHC, which will hold a 40% stake in the 60,000 barrel per day refinery and manage the development of Kabalega Industrial Park, and the National Pipeline Company Limited, NPC, in charge of pipelines, storage, and downstream business ventures. This subsidiary holds 15% interest in the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, EACOP. EACOP is a 1,445-kilometer long pipeline that will transport crude oil through 10 districts in Uganda to the port of Tanga in Tanzania. UNOC is also actively engaged in crude oil exploration, development, and production activities, and its participation role includes a 15% stake in the Tilenga, Nwoya, and Bulisa, and Kingfisher development projects, Chikure. UNOC also holds the exploration license for Kasuruban Block in Hoima, Bulisa, and Masindi. UNOC currently owns and manages the Ginger Storage Terminal and will build a 320 million litre capacity terminal in MPG called the Kampala Storage Terminal. At UNOC, we're harnessing the potential of Uganda's petroleum resources, forging a sustainable future and preserving the natural beauty of Uganda. UNOC, your partner in Uganda's oil and gas industry.
MTN Mama Kutusako live in concert kujahazi PM Nyonyo Mo hip hop kunarubale Kurokanga 18 Mei 2024 Ena fefe bosi weekend Kama koma rapo na nyina freestyle Jangola mwana wakulu kutebika munganiga sasa liva muchamba Misana na chidonga tuli marapu melele Pokinga mtwale bidi Vyebi mtwale tano Emeza kakande Emeza vivye milioni satu Downloading MTN Momo app Osaliwe kebijula 5 kubuli 10 ku tiketi Woguli kwa MTN Momo tiketi yagula mtwalo gumo ade VIP ebili chitundu tulina the bote cruise Itedwa musente MC MTN Momo Givo establishment the angry management.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with Baby Junior jelly.
Though dried their chariots and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, Baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love Baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior's the skin. No more worries anymore. Boo, 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 boo. Baby Junior. Baby Junior.
Uganda's biggest tourism and travel trade show of the year is here again. The 8th edition of the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo Poate 2024 under the theme Responsible Tourism will be taking place at the Speak Resort Convention Center, Munyonyo from the 23rd to the 25th of May 2024. It's your chance to connect with tourism and travel professionals from across the globe. Discover travel holiday deals, packages, and so much more. Visit www.poate.co.ug to register and be part of the event. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo Poate is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board.
Fellow countrymen and women, especially the Bazukuru, as we work towards realizing Uganda's Vision 2040, it is important that we plan based on accurate information about our people and our resources. I therefore would like to announce the 6th National Population and Housing Census that will start on the 10th of May 2024. The information from the National Population and Housing Census will support government, the private sector, cultural and religious institutions, civil society, and development partners in service delivery. It will also provide the basis for planning the provision of social services such as education, health, and transport, among many others, at the national and local levels. When data collectors or enumerators come to your home during the census, please avail yourselves and provide them with honest answers to their questions. This is in order to enable them process the most accurate information about you, your household, institutions, and community. I therefore call upon all political, cultural, and religious leaders, private sector players, civil society, the media, and the institutions of the government to support this key national program. The successful execution of this census will influence the well-being of all Ugandans and progress the country towards the desired socio-economic transformation. I wish you all a successful census for God and my country.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad that you're still with us here in UBC News Tonight. Now, in more news this evening, hundreds of pilgrims from Nebbi Diocese have today started the trek to Namugongo that will span 15 days. They were flagged off by the Archbishop Raphael Wakorach, who wished for courage and resilience during the 438-kilometer walk. The theme of the year is "For Me and My Family Shall Serve the Lord." The youngest pilgrim of this year is Solomon Mungoromu, who is 11 years, and the oldest is Kachira Achibo, 82 years. The pilgrims will spend a night at Our Lady of Trust in Pakwach district, and early in the morning they will embark on the journey.
A reflection of what a Christian is in the society, in the world. A good person, a dedicated person, loving person, friendly person, a person who shuns all ways of evil, a person who can say always no to the evil. We know how much evils are invading our spaces of life, and we can't sometimes build the things we want to build to make us live better, because evil is taking up more space than good we should expect. So our journey here is to purify us. Our journey is also to make us always focus on Christ. That's why the theme we have chosen as for me and my household, we shall serve the Lord. May this be a true moment of transformation, not only transformation, but moment of conversion to the faith that is going to build our true image as Christians. We bless the pilgrims, we bless their household, we pray that they may be safe in their journey. They're taking a journey in the company of Father Charles B. Waker, who will be like their immediate spiritual companion. And we pray that he will help them in all possible ways. If they need Mass, if they need some other moments of celebrating sacrament.
Pilgrim from Nebbi Diocese. I'm called a child pastor, a disabled person, Nebbi district.
So, what has motivated you to come?
Threatened me to come.
What has motivated you?
You to take this? Because of the
faith.
Faith in Namugongo.
Well, we wish the pilgrims journey mercies and good health as they embark on this amazing journey to Namugongo. Now, in more news this evening, the Manxion Falls National Park route that was recently opened for commercial trucks and a bus has registered increased accidents. The accidents, mostly involving trucks, are attributed to the state of the roads and drivers' unfamiliarity. Isaac Katabazi, the Vice Chairperson, Truck Drivers Association of Uganda, spoke to UBC.
Since the announcement of the diversion of heavy trucks and buses to pave way for the rehabilitation works of the Karuma Bridge, an upsurge of road accidents involving trucks have been registered in the Murchison Falls National Park route, says Isaac Katabazi, the Vice Chairperson, Truck Drivers Association of Uganda.
However, another challenge would say that Masindi Pakwachi Road is very narrow compared to the other Guru Highway, and this is why now we are experiencing a lot of accidents in there.
The rampant road accidents are attributed to the narrowness of the road, the terrain and unfamiliarity of the new route by many drivers.
We are advised to go 40 kilometers per hour, which of course is a very good speed, but because it's a new road and there are many turns and slopes which are not navigatable to our trucks now, because when a truck starts to go down deep, almost 30 kilometers when it's loaded, and it's a new route for a driver, it's the reason why we're experiencing now accident.
most animals tend to hide during the day.
In the recent interview with UBC, Bashir Hanji, the Uganda Wildlife Authority's public relationship officer, cautioned motorists against overspeeding and recklessness in the park.
For those who know, or those who may not be knowing, we have speed cameras in Murchison Falls National Park. So they're able to tell us the speed at which you are driving.
His appeal is re-emphasized by the Truckers Association, who also request for UA to put up a temporary rest area on the route.
From Masindi to Pakwachi, that's 120 kilometers. That's a long distance for a person not to check on the track where there is those slopes, body slopes and body corners. At least for us, we are used that after 50 kilometers, I'm supposed to stop, check my track to see if at all the brakes are still okay or not okay. So I'm going to request, I think, the wildlife people, the in charge in there, to at least give us some room. I know they're not going to give us a stage that you guys are going to park here, but we should deserve another place when you go down those hills to at least to first stop, make the brakes.
Dennis Igor for UBC News.
The International Center for Research on Women has reaffirmed its dedication to utilizing data for the empowerment of women and girls. Despite the inherent challenges in data collection and utilization, Turabo Subi, a gender economist from ICRW, expressed optimism about the census data's potential to advance gender equality in Uganda through evidence-based research.
Evidence-based data will play a crucial role in understanding and addressing gaps in gender inequity.
There isn't enough data or surveys that have been done in the country on which we can best to understand what are the existing gaps for us to do follow-on research. But we are privileged that the census is taking place, and it's one of the indicators for social development. So we shall make sure to utilize this census data in our work as a research institution.
Evelyn Opondo, Africa Director at International Center for Research on Women, underscores the importance of implementing evidence-based policies.
The census gives us data about where the country is at on specific indicators. For example, whether it's around education, whether it's around gender-based violence. This is important because the country needs to make policies, laws, positions that is based on evidence.
Josephat Injeru, Operations Director at International Center for Research on Women, highlights the significance of planning based on accurate information for the country's development efforts.
So when you allocate resources, you'll actually allocate resources based on actual information, not based on estimation. So it is actually very, very important to be able, when you have the actual data, because now then you'll be able to allocate resources according to the data that is actual, not about estimation. Yeah. So the resources will reach the individuals, the poor, the women, the children, as it should.
Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
Over the years, we've dreamed to get onto the world stage. We've had that dream crushed. We've witnessed a total defeat of what could have been our greatest moment. We've felt our spirits go up, only to take a hard fall. We've had our fires burn out and leave only scars. We've seized the wind and had it pulled from our grasp. We've seen pain, and we've seen loss of the last fragments of hope. But we are made of resilience, and resilience never stops dreaming. So, we will dream even bigger with the Cranes Cup Bowl 2026. Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup.
Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup. For every Now Special you buy, we will give 50 shillings to the Uganda Cranes 2026 fund. You will also get the chance to choose how the Cranes Cup Bowl contributions are spent. Now Special, official beer of the FIFA World Cup and official beer partner of the Uganda Cranes.
Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Ituba Uganda is here, the new licensed operator of the Uganda National Lottery. They have been appointed by the National Lottery and Gaming Regulatory Board as the official operator for a 10-year period, based on their operational excellence in other regions of Africa.
The National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board is dedicated to ensuring that the lottery is transparent, well-managed and generates substantial revenue for national projects.
Ituba Uganda was selected through a rigorous process for their proven experience, financial stability and capacity for successful lottery operations.
Ituba Uganda will utilize advanced technology and expertise to offer an unmatched gaming experience for Ugandans. All funds will support vital government initiatives such as infrastructure, education, healthcare and sports, with a special emphasis on preparing for AFCON 2027.
So, join Ituba Uganda on this journey
of changing and transforming lives.
Welcome back from that break. Now in more news this evening, Luwero Chief Magistrates Court has charged and remanded a one Navas Vela Elias Yeso Mlokozi over refusal to be counted as regards the ongoing national census. Now this followed his plea of guilt over the charges read against him. We have the details.
This week, Wobulenzi Police in Luwero District arrested Ewan Navas Vela, also known as Yeso Mlokozi, after his refusal to be counted following the ongoing national census. Navas Vela, who is the proprietor of Super Glopa Eden at Loima in Katikamu, was arrested together with his follower, El Shaddai Gracia. Today morning, the two have been arraigned at Luwero Magistrates Court before Magistrate Christopher Tindiewa Dieri and were charged with offences of obstructing government initiative of the census.
Against both of you is obstructing from executing lawful duties with national census, and that is called by Section 28, Subsection 3 of UBOS Act, Chapter 310.
The accused pleaded guilty to the read offences against them.
It is a troll, because I'm not scared of this world. I'm another world. That's my issue. I know. I don't know heaven. Will be given a chance to say what you want to say.
Prosecution told court that investigations in the matter are still ongoing and asked court for more time. Magistrate Tinde granted prosecution his prayers and remanded the accused persons to prison until 29th May 2024.
State has informed the court the facts are not ready. So you have to go on remand. They will be read the day you come back.
It's recalled that government said refusal to be counted grants one a jail term of 6 months. Rebecca Nantongo, Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
All right, and now into the world of business. The Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Colonel Tom Butime, has embarked on a tour of the Conservation through Commercialization Center in Butambala District, where he voiced concerns over bureaucratic hurdles hindering investment in the sector. He highlights the need for streamlined operations and collaboration among government entities involved in wildlife conservation.
During the visit, accompanied by officials from the ministry and Uganda Wildlife Authority,
Kano Butime acknowledged the importance of developing a memorandum of understanding between Ministry and the conservation facility and UWA to align their interests.
So that at any given time, each one knows what to do and how quickly to do it. The problem we have is that private sector always wants to move very fast, isn't it? And any government institution will always try to be bureaucratic.
Addressing previous concerns raised by the Parliamentary Committee on Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Kano Butime emphasized the significance of the facility in enhancing Uganda's tourism sector.
Here is another facility. Besides going to Jinja for rafting, Kidepo, Machishon Falls, isn't it? Queen Elizabeth, Kibale, there is another facility here in Impigi, isn't it?
He reassured Thomas Price, the director of CTC, that issues regarding operations and alleged sabotage by Wildlife Authority have been addressed, fostering optimism among investors.
So I think the meeting went very well. We're very honored that the minister came himself, so that was very, very nice, and we really appreciate that. And we hope that as a team together now with the ministry and UWA, we can really make this facility something which will move the tourism industry. My biggest concern is that we will not find a mutual understanding and that we end at loggerheads as we've been for a long time. So I'm very happy that we did find a mutual understanding and that it was agreed that the minister also guided that people should work together and make this happen.
Since its partial opening to the public in 2022, CTC has received positive feedback from visitors of all ages and nationalities, underscoring its role in the wildlife conservation and education.
I learned about this place through the Chinese social media and I was amazed. So when I come to Uganda, I decided this is a must destination.
The most exciting one was the lemur because I liked feeding them because they are not harmful, and I liked holding them and also carrying them here. My best part was when I was carrying the crocodile, which was young.
Butime's engagement with the facility reflects a commitment to promoting sustainable tourism and preserving Uganda's rich biodiversity. In a symbolic gesture, Minister Butime named 2 cubs, one after himself, while the other was named Beatrice, as tribute to his wife. Maureen Babidie, Dennis Sigoa, reporting for UBC News.
Now, Quality Chemical Industries Limited reported a 20% increase in profits 6 months after Cipla's exit. According to a recent independent auditor's report, the company indicated that profit before tax reached 68.28% to 31.7 billion shillings with a net profit margin of 11.97% in the financial year 2023.
Quality Chemical Industries Limited reported a 20% increase in 6 months after Cipla's exit. According to a recent independent auditor's report, the company's profit before tax for the 2024 financial year reached a record of 47.8 billion, surpassing the previous year's profit of 31.8 billion.
There's been consistent growth from the journey and consistent improvement. And where we are now, our current assets exceed the current liabilities by over 124 billion. Our current ratio, which is the measure of liquidity, ordinarily the ratio would be in the region of 2. And where we see ourselves, we almost double what the standard would have been.
The Chief Executive Director of Quality Chemical Industries credits the company's success to its commitment to producing high-quality products.
We will continue to focus on making sure Ugandans get the best product. It means everything what is needed in the country is accessible, right? Accessibility with respect to technology and product. 2, we're going to make sure that there is never a shortage of supplies. So availability is the second area we will make sure never comes. So you will see all the product QCIL makes, there is never a shortage. Never.
Despite a decline in contract manufacturing due to softening demand, Quality Chemical Industries Limited entered into a 3-year manufacturing and supply agreement with Cipla MedPro, which is now operational. This is expected to drive growth and revenue for the company in the coming years.
ROIC and return on equity are measures of profitability, and they're all looking good, improving from the previous year to the current year. Return on equity appears to be lower than what it was in the previous years, just because the base has grown because we made a profit in the previous year as well.
The company board has also recommended a final dividend of 5.7 shillings per share, subject to approval by shareholders at the annual general meeting in July. Nahoho Rashid Maselele, UBC News.
In a bid to foster innovation and job creation through social media platforms, influencers led by Barley Frank have raised a critical issue regarding the high costs of data. Speaking at the launch of MC Stubborn's latest endeavor, Kalidalu, at the Oasis Villa Hotel in Kawempe, Lugoba, the influencers highlighted the significant financial burden expensive data imposes on their ability to utilize social media for economic purposes.
Uganda, young people are leveraging social media to showcase their talents and generate income. However, the exorbitant costs of data hinder their endeavors, limiting their capacity to create engaging content and explore entrepreneurial opportunities.
One man who baptized Jesus. Pastor.
Barley Frank, also known as MC Stubborn, emphasized the urgent need for government intervention to alleviate the financial strain caused by data expenses. He stressed that while social media platforms offer vast potential for economic empowerment, the current data pricing structure poses a significant barrier to realizing these opportunities.
Data wa Uganda ali so expensive. Data wa Uganda ali too expensive. Whereby nti oteekako fite ne limalako eddakiika 2 kati whereby GB 2 ndo za 15 kati GB 2 tezisobola kumala naye ndishuwa GB ezo teziwera.
MC Stubborn urged fellow youth to utilize social media responsibly, acknowledging its transformative impact on his own journey. Despite the challenges they face, he emphasized the importance of maximizing talents and leveraging digital platforms for success.
Bimu kubyanyamba okutuuka wano it was commitment okulemerako baneeremerako ate beera mugumiikiriza kikulu hardships okutuuka hardships ziba nyingi.
In a call to action, MC Stubborn invited Ugandans to support his upcoming show, The Best of MC Stubborn, at the Oasis Villa Hotel in Kawempe, Lugoba. He urged young people to unite in advocating for fairer data pricing policies, ensuring equal access to opportunities for all social media users.
It's this Friday. Olwokutaano luno mbakoola mwenna Oasis Villa e Kawempe Lugoba. Abantu be Makindi, abantu be Salama, abantu be Entebbe mwenna mbakoola.
Ituba Uganda is here, the new licensed operator of the Uganda National Lottery. They have been appointed by the National Lottery and Gaming Regulatory Board as the official operator for a 10-year period, based on their operational excellence in other regions of Africa.
The National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board is dedicated to ensuring that the lottery is transparent, well-managed and generates substantial revenue for national projects.
Ituba Uganda was selected through a rigorous process for their proven experience, financial stability and capacity for successful lottery operations.
Ituba Uganda will utilize advanced technology and expertise to offer an unmatched gaming experience for Ugandans. All funds will support vital government initiatives such as infrastructure, education, healthcare and sports, with a special emphasis on preparing for AFCON 2027.
So, join Ituba Uganda on this journey
of changing and transforming lives.
Gear up, grab your running shoes and join the race for life. Run 42, 21 or 5 kilometers to equip Kisoro Hospital's very first ICU. Then, after the finish line, groove all night at the ultimate dance showdown with DJs and performers from Uganda and Kigali. Secure your sport at virungamountainmarathon.org and be a part of history. Save the date, June 1st, 2024 at Shaza Ground, Kisoro Town. Race for a cause. Run for life.
Welcome back. And now into the world of sports. Uganda Chess Federation is readying itself for the Sagewood Chess Cup that gets underway this Thursday at Nobview Hotel in Ntinda.
During which many have benefited hours of training, Uganda's top chess players are bracing for the Sagewood Chess Cup that starts this Thursday. The tournament to be hosted at Nobview Hotel in Ntinda is the first Grand Prix event of the year 2024.
We call it a Grand Prix event because we have a number of series of events where for every tournament you participate in, you gather points. And at the end, let's say if we have had six events, we'll pick the best 3 events you've participated in and get your points. So now the top performers, the people with the best Grand Prix points, are the ones that will be selected or are the ones that usually are given a chance to represent the country.
The 4-day championship will witness competition in the open and ladies category, with the juniors also having an open and girls section. The top prize at the championship is 2.5 million shillings for the open category winner, while the best lady will bag 1 million Uganda shillings. There will be special prizes for the best junior open, best junior girls, best differently abled player, and a token for the best game of the championship. So far, more than 280 players, including the creme de la creme men and women, have confirmed participation.
And finally, SC Villa is going into the final day of the 2023-2024 Uganda Premier League season with an advantage and a chance to win its first title in 20 years. The Jogos snatched a comeback victory over URA FC on Tuesday at Wankulukoko to move up the pile with 54 points ahead of the second-placed and third-placed Vipers and Bull FC. The closely contested game had Villa fight for a goal down to win 2-1, including getting the winner in the 88th minute. Villa lost 1-0 to URA on the final day of the last season, thus letting Vipers to win the league crown. In other games, Kitara and Bull faltered in their respective matches, handing the initiative to 16-time champions SC Villa. Bull, who entered the match day top of the table, failed to break down a resilient Barara City in a game that ended goalless, dropping to third place with 53 points and lower goal difference. At Kavumba, Shafiq Kakande scored the winner at the stroke of halftime to hand Kitara sore defeat that see them drop to 4th position with 51 points. In Njeru, Vipers, Milton Karisa and Nsedeko's goals put the Venoms ahead, handing them a much-needed victory, but settled for second place as Villa scored twice to beat URA to go top. Now, with the standings, the final match day will be as entertaining as the last season, as Villa, Vipers and Bull will hope to win as others drop points for them to win the title.
Norman Namanya tries to go from a distance to the hands of the goalkeeper, playing under very comfortable under favorable weather conditions. And now Chisolo John to take it for Norman was right.
And now UBC News Tonight has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Elizabeth Nakakoni on Sign Language. We wish you a good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
In a significant leap towards harnessing technology for national planning and development, Uganda is again conducting a landmark digital census which started with 9th May 2024 as the census refresh night and the enumeration period scheduled for 10th to the 19th May 2024. This is the 6th population census Uganda has undertaken since it attained independence in 1962, and normally they are held after 10-year intervals. The theme for this census is It Matters to be Counted. The theme in 2014 was Counting for Planning and Improved Service Delivery. This Wednesday, on Behind the Headlines, Timothy Nyangweso is exploring more on why Ugandans should be counted. On set is a panel of experts with excellent brains. Behind the Headlines on UBC, your public broadcaster, inspiring Uganda.
Faith, love, miracles. International evangelist Daniel Kolendat, successor Reynard Bonke, and a team of associate evangelists will preach at 7 Gospel Crusades from June 12th to 23rd. Powerful divine deliverance from bondages, yokes, and curses. Salvations, family restorations, and miraculous healings. Kampala, Hoima, Busia, Lida, Ikanga, Gulu, and Bale. This is your time. Come and receive your miracle.
Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow of a subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Super Soul Sisters. My name is Jamila Oluka and you're watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. Today in the show, we bring you one of the most expressive, very flamboyant,